I'm David Ezzy, and we're in Haiku at my sail loft. We're going to go through the rigging of the 2013 Cheetah. First thing, there's two things that damage sailcloth: sunlight and creasing. So when you're rigging, try not to crease your sail. That means when you roll your sail out, make sure that it's not flapping in the wind, that you don't hear the film making a crinkling sound. The Ezzy Cheetah has a calibrated downhaul system as well as our standard mark system on the upper leash. If you're using the calibrated rigging system, you need to be rigging it on an Ezzy mast that is the suggested mast for the sail. The other thing is you want to check that the length of your Ezzy mast is correct. Now, of course, an Ezzy mast will always be the correct length, but there could be small discrepancies. So your plug, your head plug, could be squashed in, and that will make a 5mm difference. If your head plug is squashed in, then contact us and we can send you a new head plug. In the rigging guide, it shows you what the length tolerances are for your mast, and it's pretty easy to figure out because the mast body itself, for instance, this is a 430, will be 430, and then the head plug will take 5mm, so it'll be 430.5. So for every sail, you add just 5mm, half a centimeter on for the head plug. For sliding your mast in, I like to start with the mast in two pieces. Open the Velcro on the pad, and then push the tip of the mast to the back of the boom cutout, and that will feed the mast right through into the upper sleeve. See how I'm doing that? I'm pushing it to the back. Then one knee on the ground, one knee up. Push the tack of the sail against the knee that's up and slide your mast in. When the sail's new, the top of the head is a little bit kinked from rolling, so you might need to go up to the top just to straighten it, to let the top of the mast slide in.
Okay.
I like to try and get the mast in with one push at the bottom. If you're having difficulties doing that, and you might on the bigger sails, you can go to the top of the boom cutout and grab onto it, and then let the sail fold up at the boom gently, and then spin the mast and slide it to the top. Set your extension. If you're rigging on the correct length mast, look on the tack of the sail, also on the bag, and it'll show you how much extension you'll need. The 6.5 takes 26 centimeters. Set your extension. Start with the pulley that's closest to the mast and go under that pulley. Okay? This would be over, this is under. So it comes up. Then next you're going to go to the pulley that's facing up on your extension, and you'll go under the pulley. Then go to the far pulley on the sail and go over it. Then the remaining pulley on your extension, go over, then up through the center and under the remaining pulley on the sail. Now we're ready to downhaul. I like to use my cup. What I do is make a loop, flip it around, stick the cup in the center. I'll show you that again. Make a loop, see the rope's on the top, grab onto the cross, flip it over, and then stick your cup in. And see how the tail of the rope is coming out in the direction you're going to pull, and then when you're done, it comes out easily. Cross, over. Now we're going to downhaul. If you're using the calibrated rigging, then you want to downhaul until the bottom of your mast lines up with the mark on the calibration tab. I suggest going to the medium mark in most cases. If you're really underpowered, then of course go to the minimum mark, and if you're way overpowered, then go to the maximum. But in most cases the medium mark is good. If you're rigging on non-Ezzy masts, then it's probably best to use the marks that are printed between battens number 2 and 3. The forward mark, the red dots, are for high wind. The middle marks, which are black, are for medium wind, and then the gray dots in the back, closest to the leech, are for light wind. So you downhaul until you see the looseness come just to the mark. It's also a good idea to kind of wiggle the sail when it's on the ground so that you can see the looseness. If you're using a non-Ezzy mast, you can set it up to use the calibration gauge, and what you do is rig it with the marks on the upper leech, sail it, figure out where you need to be for medium wind, and then have it rigged correctly for medium wind. Then just take the gauge and move it so that it lines up with the bottom of your mast. So next time you rig, all you have to look at is the gauge. Take the tack strap, wrap it around your extension, then tension it until you have a small wrinkle running out of the tack. This redistributes the load back onto the edge of the sail and actually tensions the lower leech and puts a little more profile on the bottom of the sail. After tensioning the tack strap, take the tail, wrap it around the extension and back under itself, and then back onto the Velcro. Then take your downhaul line, go one time around your extension, wrap it up, stick it into the mesh pocket, close the pad up. I like to do the downhaul line last so that if I need to adjust my downhaul, I don't have to take the tack strap off again. For setting your outhaul, there are 3 cords that are sewn at the clew of the sail. The longest cord is red, and that's for high wind. The medium cord is black for medium wind, and the short cord is gray for light wind. You notice that the colors of the cords correspond with the colored dots on the upper leech, and the idea is that the more downhaul you put, the more outhaul you also want to put. So you want to try and match the colors. So if you're at the red on the downhaul, then go to the red with the outhaul. So what you want to do is have the sail on your hip. Don't have it on the ground, have it up on your hip. You don't want to pull on the sail, just let it fall wherever it wants. Take the cord and set your boom to the end of the cord, and then you're going to outhaul to the end of the boom. First time rigging in the day, I like to outhaul once and then release it just to double check. I'll release it and I'll check I'm correct. So I've got, without pulling on the sail, just gently pulling the cord out, I've got the boom set to the end of the black cord, and then I'm going to outhaul to the end of the boom, and that'll be my medium outhaul setting. Your sail's been rigged and checked in the factory. We've tuned the battens, but over time the battens can stretch a bit. Also, the first time you use your sail, the battens will stretch a bit. So it's a good idea to check your batten tension. The tensioner key is stored in the pad. Remove it. You can start with the lowest batten. Back the tension off until you see wrinkles on the X-film on either side of the pocket. Now we're not talking about the wrinkles that are running through the center of the pocket, because of course when the batten's curved, the inside of the pocket will always have slight little wrinkles just because it's displacing the extra sailcloth. Be sure not to over-tension your battens. If you tighten them too much, they'll have problems flipping. So if you find that your sail is not flipping side to side well when you tack or jibe, then you might want to release a little bit of batten tension. And normally it's the lower battens that would cause a problem. So tension the battens all the way up the same way. First release the tension. I like to release the tension so you know that you're setting the batten tension at the minimum. Tension it just until the wrinkles disappear. And so what I like to do for the head batten is over tension it until the batten is popping back and forth. Then just release the tension until the batten's not popping. For de-rigging, start at the clew. Release completely. Take the tack strap off completely. You're going to use the tack strap to hold the sail when it's rolled. Plus, if you leave the tack strap on and you release your downhaul, it'll catch on the lip of the extension. Take your boom off. Now, for getting your mast out, so you don't crease the sail, what you want to do is just spin the mast. See how I'm not even touching the sail, I'm just spinning it. And the mast is coming out on its own. Notice the bottom came out separately, but the top is right at the boom cutout, so I just slide it out. Rolling your sail, pinch it quite tightly, then relax as soon as you get onto the tri-light, then roll parallel to the batten. If you get to a batten and you're not parallel, you can just pull the core out. After rolling, stick your hand inside the core, grab onto the tack, just spin the core to tighten it a bit. Then you're going to tuck the pad, take the tack strap, wrap it around the pad and back onto the Velcro. And now the sail's held. When you put your sail into the bag, put the sleeve end in first. And the reason for that is if you store your sail vertically, it's safe to store it on the sleeve. The sleeve cloth is soft and pliable. You don't want to store your sail vertically on the clew because over time it can cause it to crease at the edge of the patch and eventually break the film.